Hey everyone, welcome to Ink Scribes, the comics podcast where we discuss the art and craft of comics. I'm Colin Singh. I'm an aspiring comics artist, and I'm joined by my co-host Eric Zawadzki, the artist on the critically acclaimed Assorted Crisis Events, which is out now from Image Comics, and Taylor Stauft, the creator of Luke Zenith and Scorpio Gold. Today, we've got a very special episode where we're diving into the career of Stuart Immonen. Now, we're going to do things a little different this episode. We're going to be tackling the independent work that he's been doing later in his career, specifically moving pictures, uh, Russian Olive to Red King, and Grass of Parnassus.
Yeah, so basically, we've
on.
got 2010. This was released in 2015, and then this came out in 2021. So it feels like every 5 years or so they release something. Although we're coming up on 5 years since this came out, so yeah, I don't know. And I should say that I have one book missing, which I used to own, but I think it ended up purged when I moved provinces. But Never as Bad as You Think is missing from here, which is a book that came out maybe 2008, 2009. But yeah, and I'll briefly mention that as we get to it. But what did you guys think of all of these three books? What do you think of Stuart Immonen outside of his more well-known mainstream work?
This is the sort of thing I wish more comic book artists would do. Make comics that they want to read rather than what publishers or marketing departments or algorithms or whatever.
What they think the market wants.
Yeah. Just like it feels to me like each of these was made for it's the audience of two, Kathryn and Stuart Immonen, and it's just a nice bonus that we get to read them and maybe like them. I know I sure do. These fucking rock. I hope they come out with even more. I gotta get my hands on hard copies of Russian Olive to Red King and moving pictures.
Yeah, man. I mean, Immonen's one of my most favorite creators in all of comics, but
yeah, and like a weird low key version.
Exactly, in a weird low key way. But he's such a multifaceted artist. But I hadn't actually read two of these out of the three of the books. I'd read Olive to King, but Moving Pictures and Grass of Parnassus, I read specifically to prepare for this episode, and I gotta say these three comics specifically separately are like three key reasons why I love comics. Like, this is what comics are to me. This is the stuff that, like I'm a Wednesday warrior. I read corporate comics. I read Spider-Man and all that stuff. But like when I call Eric to talk about something, I'm not talking about, hey, did you see an Ultimate Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, Eric, you got to read this comic, like Black Sad or whatever European independent type of work, like original work, which is like pure, like just the best of the best in terms of examples of why I love comics and why comics is like a perfect art form, right? Removing time altogether, comics is the perfect art form to communicate anything, and these three books are perfect examples of that. And we're kind of like, we're going into Moving Pictures first because that came first, and I feel like we're like front loading that one's my hands down my favorite, and like we're front loading the episode. So if you hear me saying just verbal diarrhea about this and then just nothing from me after, that's why.
Yeah, they're all like art pieces.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask what each of your favorite was. So now we know Colin's is Moving Pictures. What was your favorite of these three, Taylor?
Oh, it is Grass of Parnassus all the way.
Okay, very cool, because
I would say like
we're all three
that's
divided.
The most perfectly put together package.
Because my favorite is Russian Olive to Red King.
I had a feeling yours was going to be Russian Olive.
Yeah. That's your speed, though, bro. Just like knowing you.
Well, we'll expound on why each of those are our favorites as we get to them. But yeah, I just quickly want to talk about Stuart Immonen, because I think he has a reputation amongst artists in the industry for his impressive versatility. It's
Oh
something
yeah.
that like constantly gets brought up. And Stuart Immonen started out in the black and white indie boom in the 1980s, and back then he had a very indie looking style. Uh, and I suspect that independent art is where his heart truly lies. But we all need to make a living. We all need to make money. So he pursued corporate work and developed a mainstream style. And I just have a quick quote about his mainstream 90s style, which is different from his 2000 style. But yeah, he said, I was seriously modeling my own art on the clean line work of Adam Hughes, Alan Davis, and Kevin Maguire, among others. Not only was it saleable, but it seemed much easier to reverse engineer than what was happening at the same time at Image. Not that I actually figured it out, I'm still trying, but it was a place to start that made sense to my eye. So he was drawing along that like sort of Kevin Maguire, Alan Davis style throughout the 90s. And then with Superman's Secret Identity, he ratcheted up the realism up a notch. And then when he goes to Marvel in the mid 2000s, he brings in a cartoonier style, and so there's
Yeah.
a big fluctuation in the type of art he creates all throughout his career, and I think he's one of the most influential artists that has worked in the medium in the last like 20 years or so, because it feels like the sort of house style at Marvel is based on what Stuart Immonen was doing in the 2010s.
Yeah, a lot of the aesthetic, you can see it, like even in just box art for toys and that sort of thing. But the overall house style, like the look of a cover of a Marvel comic as well. But I was going to say that I heard this story. I don't know if it's true, but Imonen's Star Wars run. Neil Adams later in his later years used to carry around a comic, Star Wars comic that Immonen did, because there's a double page
Really?
splash in it that he would look to for inspiration. And I really hope that story is true, because that has to be like the biggest compliment to your career. To
That Star Wars
to
work
have a
is
Mount Rushmore guy
oh,
have your work in his portfolio that he looks at before he starts drawing. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, he his design sense too. It's I feel like he was the one that I felt got the Ultimate Universe look correct.
Yeah.
It was a lot cleaner. The seams that were so popular in all of those costume designs weren't messy or distracting or too
they're
busy.
minimized. Yeah.
Yeah, he really got like, here's the ribbing that you definitely need, and and he just leaves what you didn't, which I think actually goes on to influence the MCU look as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mentioned Never as Bad as You Think, which I don't have, but I just want to briefly mention that it was a project they worked on. Kathryn and Stuart Immonen worked on together, husband and wife. There around 2005, there was a community website called Illustration Friday that had a drawing challenge in which a single word prompt was used as a drawing theme, and it was for illustrators, but they decided to do a comic. And over several years, I guess, like he did his mainstream work, and then on weekends he would do this fun like web
Oh,
comic
nice.
thing. And then when it was all done, they self-published it and sold it at like TCAF or small shows like that. But then Boom printed a hardcover of it. But then right
Nice.
after that, they started working on a web comic, Moving Pictures. So that's what we'll talk about right now. So, Colin, this was your favorite out of all these. What? Why was that? Why did this one speak to you?
So I'm going to go off the bat, say, like, if you look at the bulk of Immonen's work, it's realistic, it's detailed. Even in his cartoony stuff, it's still, it's got a sense of realism to it. And this
Yeah,
is so,
proportions and stuff.
yeah, and this is so stripped down to just
Mm,
literally lines. And that leads like page one right away. You look at page one. If you look at that page, whether you read comics or not, and whether you're into a certain style or not, as soon as you look at this page, you know exactly what is there. It's a woman sitting in a chair in a dark room with just one lamp. There's another chair opposite end of the table, and it's perfectly just he knew the exact lines to communicate there, right? It like this exact scene, and it's not repellent. You can't be repulsed by this, but you're drawn to this. He stripped his
yeah.
style down completely because he knows exactly what to show.
Yeah, and he stripped the style down specifically because this was a side gig. I think he would work on it on like Sundays and holidays because Monday to Friday he was working on Marvel Comics. So by necessity, he
Even
needed to
so,
create
though.
a simplified style.
Yeah, but like the simplification is, it's still stylized. Like he's still putting thought into it too. It's not like he's half-assing it, you know?
Yeah,
Like just even things like the little lines at the ends of her hair
yeah.
to let you know, like, this isn't a chunk. This is, you know, what's going on here. There's folds, there's volume to this.
So his biggest influence was for this, I believe, was Michel Rabagliati, and he specifically liked Paul Has a Summer Job. And if you see the art for that,
I
you can see the
Yeah,
influence.
100%. Now that you know what, I didn't
Oh,
even.
you're familiar, Colin?
Yeah, I've got
I was
I,
not.
I've got Paul Moves In. It's called Paul Moves In, or Paul Moves Out. Um,
Oh, very
that's
cool.
that's the single volume that I have. But there's a whole Paul series, and yeah, Rebagliati, great art. And as soon as you said his name, actually, I like this came to me. His style is exactly
Oh,
like this.
okay.
But the thing is, this style. Actually, I'll mention it a little bit later when we get later into the book. But there is a comparison I would offer to that style for sure between the two of them.
So, what would you guys say this comic is about?
Who? Uh,
Because
I
I
was
should
thinking
say,
about
like,
this.
I should say that there's no hand holding at all with any of these comics.
There really isn't. No, it's in fact they purposely try to obscure things, right? Like if you go back to a few pages where the flags are hanging,
Yeah,
those flags, that's supposed to be a Nazi flag,
Yeah,
but they're just like whatever. Like don't pay attention. That's not what this is about. Because that's the thing, right? Is I went in thinking, oh, this is kind of like a espionage thriller set in World War II, and I don't think that's what it's like. That's the plot, but that's not the story.
yeah. I mean, it's primarily conversations. It's not a tremendous amount of plot. There's not a lot of action. I mean, I think when the Immonens were talking about this, they would joke that the most action there was somebody standing up,
Yeah,
which I think this
yeah.
was originally developed as sort of an exercise on behalf of Kathryn Immonen, potentially for a play.
Yeah,
Um,
like a one-act play, wasn't it?
yeah, and then I guess they decided to turn it into a webcomic, and then eventually it was published.
I guess I would say it's just about the relationship between her and the is it Einsatzgruppen?
Yeah, so basically, she's Canadian, the main character,
Ila,
Ila.
Ila,
Illa.
yeah.
She's
Illa?
Canadian,
Illa.
but
Yeah.
she's a curator in France, and I think they specifically say that she curates the lesser known works. And does it say it's
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
Louvre, or is that
It is. Yeah, it's the Louvre for sure.
okay?
Do they say that though?
They
Oh,
It's
they
it's difficult to it's difficult to know because like the depiction of it now it's very well known because of the glass pyramids out front. But I think if you're just looking at like a section of the building, it's like that looks like a 17th century French building. Yes. What of it?
Yeah.
They all look like that.
And the whole thing is that the Germans have come in, and so I guess they have to find ways to misplace a lot of this art so that the Germans don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to protect it, because at the time, Paris is an open city, which is to say that the Paris authorities said before the Germans rolled in, nobody do anything. We're not going to stop you and we're not going to help you. Just be cool about this. But to protect, and it's to protect stuff like architecture and art, because you never know who's going to get hit. But yeah, they move a lot of stuff. They put them in abandoned mines a lot, and in and out to more remote locations. They mention one where they relocated the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, so I guess this is the kind of book that would really appeal to art history fans. Which I guess, Taylor, you're a big art history guy.
It's frustrating. I can tell you that.
Oh, why is that?
Yes, I mean Bachelor of Fine Arts and Visual Studies, right there. So I had to take quite a few. I have a complicated relationship with art history, but a lot of it. It's what's weird about this is I went in thinking, yeah, the artworks that they talk about are going to be important to the story, and they're not. Like the Winged Victory of Samothrace there, or the Venus de Milo, both super well-known pieces, don't factor into this story at all. Don't factor into anything that's happening other than to set this in a specific space. Like if they don't say the words Louvre, this is what lets you know that's where she works.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is they keep mentioning these works of art. And so and it's interesting because we have this stylistic difference between like the real world, and then the art pieces are a lot more detailed. And yeah, throughout this I didn't know
Yeah.
a lot of these pieces. I mean, obviously everyone knows this piece, right?
Yeah. But the other one, do you know what that one's called?
Well, what is he saying here?
It's just called Girl Reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like 30 of those by different guys. It's so hard to find. I stumbled across it because I was trying to find like, what are these? I accidentally found that one.
So going back a bit, I did want to comment on the style here. I like there's a deliberate squiggliness to the line work. Like it's if you look up close, it's like
How do you
deliberately not trying to be like a perfect swoop line. If you look up close at all of this, it's very squiggly.
Oh yeah, like the
Yeah.
line quality.
I got that Charles Schultz vibe from it, but it shows like a sureness of like he knows where he's going with the line. You know, you gotta trust him to get all the way
Well,
across.
and it's a very deliberate choice. Like
Yeah.
where she takes her jacket off, and I mean, yeah, you see right here her jacket's off, and these are very deliberately squiggly, and that's a choice. Even the line work there, and I like it. It's a very intentional aesthetic choice that I really like. I also like I think in all three of these books, he does the lettering, and he does very round word balloons, and I always love that in comics when that's done.
Yeah.
And this is hand lettered, right?
Man, I'm gonna have to start doing
No, this is
that.
digital, I think.
I thought it was digital. Yeah, because I thought that was kind of they really streamlined their process for this.
Yeah.
The balloons are probably
Uh,
ink though.
And let's see. Let me just go back here. I really loved this transition here. Like this is just so artfully done as we sort of go from the paper here, and I think this might be a motif, the blank paper, the blank flags, because that shows up frequently throughout.
Yeah, I did some quick research, and I think they wanted to make sure that it didn't like sit in a time so much that you could like pick it apart. they're not trying to exist in a point in history. They're trying to exist like in the general era of like it's occupied France when it doesn't
So
matter.
sometime within that 5 or 4 years, I guess, or any time within that.
Yeah,
Within that
yeah.
era, yeah. And actually, going back to your question, Eric, I don't think I answered you about what the story meant to me. Is it's like her job is that she gets to catalog this art, and she was talking about how she puts different colored stickers on the back of the art
Right.
to
Yeah.
classify whether it's class A, B, or C. And it's like we are dictating the importance of this art. And in terms of what's going on in history, the way they cope and reconcile with what's going on in history is like sometimes they handle it badly, and she makes some really rash decisions, based on her job. She's trying to justify her actions through her job, and she thinks that's what's happening in life, and just all this kind of stuff. And she provides a really good foil to the German officer that interrogates her. She's got history with him, right? And it's
Hmm.
really nice to see his behavior in the past and the present, like in the present of the tale, and how one, how firm he has to be with her in certain aspects, and other ways he kind of like he tries to comfort her, and he cares about her and all this kind of stuff. Like it's all the behavior, and even in the drawing itself, like some of the gestures that he does, and like the way he looks down, or if he looks in a certain direction, like you can tell he regrets saying something. Maybe he was too harsh, or whatever the case may be. Like the what the story's about is basically people just reconciling the past, or to reconcile just the time they're in.
I think this is a great page 37 of what you're talking about, Colin. When he says, "Why won't you let me help you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, the character design too for these characters, even though they're very specific in the fashion and everything, like anybody, they could be anybody, right? They
Mhm.
have a very neutral style.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, they're abstracted just
Like I
enough.
hate making comparisons to film, but like any actor or actress could play these characters.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could.
actually, I
Yeah.
did want to bring up very briefly. There's this scene in Understanding Comics where it talks about iconography right here. You can kind of like it's kind of interesting because with Stuart Immonen you can find a work that he's done and you can find any one of these like this is this is moving pictures and here we get his Superman's secret identity is like this one, and then we get closer somewhere in between these two with his Marvel work in the 2010s. So, oh god, my cat's
Oh yeah,
running
his
around.
his Star Wars work is like his Luke Skywalker looks exactly like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, but
You
Yeah.
know?
still in his style, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do, right?
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
doesn't look like he's copying screen grabs. It looks like he's figured out what Mark Hamill looks like in his
No,
style. Yeah, it's those Star Wars issues, and he only did like what 4 or 5 issues.
4 or 5. Yeah, it's not that long. I wish they had like pay him all the money to be on all the Star Wars.
Yeah, is he your guy for that?
I think so. Yeah, just because like he does everything, like the characters, yes, but he also does like little things like the greebles on all the little like that's the word for like all the little details to give scale to something.
Right.
So like all the little bullshit along the sides of a star destroyer to let you know this is a huge fucking ship.
Yeah, yeah,
He even does that
yeah.
in such a cinematic
For
way,
me right now, Dan Mora is that guy. I'm like, just get him to draw
Yeah,
right?
everything, have a run on every book,
Oh
just to
man,
find,
sounds off in the
every
comics.
property,
Like,
every corporate owned property, every independent property, just get him to draw everything.
yep, yeah. Let us know if you want one because I have an episode on Dan Mora because I got a huge ass collection of Klaus that I'd love to go through.
so I wanted to comment on the hand lettered sign here because I love when artists do this. Oftentimes, just for the sake of like saving time, you would get very digital looking signs. Like the artist won't do it himself,
Yeah.
him or herself. The artist will get the letterer to do it, and usually it sticks out like a sore thumb. It kind of looks like a sticker on top of the art, and this looks like it's one with the environment, one with the art, and keeping in the same style of that like scraggly line that is all throughout. So I did quickly want to show. So he has like
Ooh.
Immonen.ca, but if you go to it now, it looks like it's down. So he just didn't keep up with it. But we have the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine, and going back to 2007, this is how it was serialized. And I did want to comment that it did take him 3 years to do this. Like he was only working on it over weekends, and then in that last year leading up to publication, he went back and he redid a bunch of faces, or made a lot of adjustments, because over the course of 4 years, like he developed a style for this, and he didn't fully have it nailed down. And so in that last year, he did a lot of like reworking to make everything seem seamless. And so I did find this one page where, take note of this face here. And then if we go back and see, he changed it here. So it's always fun seeing those like.
What is the?
So it's a 3/4 view that became a side view, basically.
Yeah.
And
yeah, she's like side eyeing it there, and now she's like, no, I'm refusing to look at it.
Yeah, and all artists want to do this. Not every artist does, but you know, with Assorted Crisis Events, there are slight tweaks that I've made to almost every issue, between the original issues to the trade. And by this I mean that the tweaks are so subtle that only I would notice it, and even then, like, we look at these changes and they don't, like that Immonen did on this, and they don't seem like much, right? But it was important to him. And you, Taylor, you're saying no,
so remember,
because what you're saying, I'm Lucasing it, or
I was about to use that term, but I will say, audience, make sure to pick up both the trades and the original issues so that you can spot those differences. Make sure to lay down money for both versions.
And then put it under the microscope, just like I'm doing here.
Yeah, that's right. There's kids out there that are going to make their version of this show with holograms or whatever, and they're going to tear your stuff apart. But it'll be because you live in infamy.
I did want to comment that, like, he wasn't the only one that made changes. They did do slight tweaks to the dialogue, which, let me find this. What is it?
How did you track that down?
You know, I just found a random page, and so this page, it says "Worse Than Death," collectors, same thing that was in the box or whatever. So if we go here, the dialogue's a little bit changed. In that first balloon, she says occupation. So Kathryn Immonen made some changes as well. And that one word balloon has to be seen in the context of the previous page. Like there's just a lot of little changes that were done all throughout. So again, like, this is just fun to see the process. And a lot of comic artists do this. They make tweaks before the trade goes to publication, right?
Well, we're discovering that now, yeah.
So it is fun here. Like, you get... This seems like art nerds having conversations, and like it seems like Kathryn Immonen putting some art nerd commentary. So like right here, she's commenting on very specific Dürer.
Albrecht Dürer.
Albrecht Dürer. Yeah. Portrait of the artist with a thistle is what it's called.
So Taylor, you were reading this and then going and searching for every piece that was mentioned as you were reading?
I certainly tried. Yeah, it's difficult just because some of them are either referenced, just like kind of described, and others are named outright. And some are obvious just because of his ability, Stuart's ability to render them. Like you're never mystified when he draws something. But like that one, I had a hell of a time finding. It's Cupid and Psyche standing. There is a much more famous, and I'll say it, a much better version of that subject matter by the same artist that's quite well known in you can find it in the Louvre in their sculpture gallery, and it's a lot more dynamic. Like they're lying down, wings are out, arms are around each other. Like it's this whole thing. It's like this is the rough draft, and he was clearly like,
Well,
nah.
the very next page is the actual full scale sculpture there
Right. Yeah.
in the owner.
Well,
Yeah,
and but I guess the point is that she wasn't in charge of the great stuff. Like she was in charge of the lesser works. I think that's said in this, right?
yeah, yeah. She gets like the C list stuff. The stuff that they don't bring because the Louvre is also like it's a storehouse, right, in the basement, because it's the whole thing is a palace, so there's stuff that the general public is not near allowed anywhere near, so it stores a lot of stuff, and I think that's what she's in charge of mostly, is all the stuff that will never get put on display unless they need it for something like a anniversary or something.
Here's a size relation image for that. Yeah, this is crazy. I did Google search this, so it is very fun to like see. I guess I can pop up on the screen like the comparison of like he recreated a very detailed piece here.
He sure
Yeah.
did. Yeah, the wedding at
And I guess
Cana.
that might have been part of the fun of working on this project.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so we're getting close to it. I wanted to point out on page 58, panel 1. You can see the way she's hunched over, bending down to the transporter, and she's pointing in a way where there's an arch in her arm at the elbow and a tilt in her head that is like it's he used reference for this, or at least he drew from reference. But this is what sets him apart from anyone else who does this simplistic style. And you can see
Mm-hmm.
whether or not that they are actually well versed in like anatomy, figure work, and all that kind of stuff, or if they're just communicating like a straight stick figure. There's a way to draw a stick figure if you're a master, and there's a way of drawing a stick figure if you're an amateur. And in this case, he has communicated like this kind of like she has form to herself, even though she's only got dots for eyes, right? And so does he. He's got his arms crossed in a way that it's a very genuine posture. And again, he's got dots for eyes and no mouth, and a cigarette sticking out of no mouth, right? He's communicating
Yeah.
these ideas very, very masterfully, where you cannot. That's the other thing, is as soon as you look at it, you know what it is, right? The familiarity is already built in.
That's a great point. Yeah, because she's also, by bending down, she's like asking his eyes to follow her pointing, but also like he's noticeably shorter than her, so like she's interacting with him. Whereas you're right, I think a lesser talent would just have her, like, sure, they're different heights, but she's not really interacting with him. She's saying something at him, but this is like she's conforming herself to the specific needs of this other person that she is communicating with.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very cool detail. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super well observed.
Did you guys notice the thickness of the panel gutters? Like the panel gutters here are thinner between these two, and then thicker as you get to the next tier. And I think this is done for clarity. The panels with the thinner borders are clumped together, and so there's no mistaking that one follows the other. Which is I think in the previous episode we were discussing like people who don't know how to read comics, and this just makes it clear that this follows the other because there's a wider gap between these two. And it's just little things like that help the reading experience.
Right, because this is appearing on the site first, right? It's shown up on
and it was
Webtoons
probably the idea was, I'd imagine, Like they're trying to get like a wider audience than I guess your big two Wednesday warriors. And so you do whatever you can to make it easier for anybody and everybody to read it, right?
Mhm.
Well, and I was also thinking, like, on a page, there's a lot of history to how you read a comic, whether you've read one or not. But you've people in North America have encountered a comic some way in their life, but there is kind of a loss of boundaries, especially when they're doing this. In what is it, 2008?
Oh, it was like over the course of 4 years.
Yeah. So like there was a lot of like, oh, what can we do with this infinite space? Like the infinite scroll of the page, and like you're not really bound by any printed medium. And there is kind
Yeah.
of I think this is kind of a reveal of, well, but there is a need to direct the eye, and you do need to you need to lock people in more than you'd like to admit.
Now, this page here, actually, can I just point out on page 67, that painting where she's cutting her own hair,
Yeah.
and the word balloon says, "I think this is the way I would like to be remembered."
This is Woman Brushing Her Hair by Edgar
And
Degas.
this actually speaks more to Kathryn Immonen than Stuart Immonen. Like, she picked the paintings, obviously, to write about, right? And
Right, yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, she's a very intellectual writer. I hope she does more stuff, like even outside of her partnership with her husband. But picking this painting and communicating that exact line of dialogue really, like, just kind of like made me sit back in my chair a little bit, or like tilt back, because as you can see, it's a woman with long hair, and it takes a lifetime to grow that hair, right? And then she cuts
Mhm.
it, right, and it lends itself
Yeah.
to that line that she's saying, because that's kind of, like I say, she's coping with what's happening to her in her life, and her job, she's delegated to decide the fate of history, while there her fate is being decided by history itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great observation.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. This is just like when I said, "Oh, this is two art nerds making comics that they want to read." This is
Yeah.
what Colin said. Like this is it.
Like,
You
and
know?
I want to, like, I know we still got a little bit ways to go, but like, Kathryn and Stuart, they both believe in each other, and they believe in what, and in the work itself. Like, she knows what he can do,
Yeah.
which is literally anything when it comes to comics, right?
Hmm.
And he believes in her. He, like, and you can see she's a very smart writer, right?
Yep.
Not just in terms of like her history sense and like her research and all that kind of stuff, but her dialogue, and just the way she, not just in this story, but also in Olive to King and into Grass Partner, like, the characters all really well realized. Like, you want to get to know them,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The ping pong back and forth of the dialogue. It's super fun.
Yeah, and I wanted to highlight the acting on this particular page because it's her throughout this scene. She's just staring at a painting. The addition of a cigarette helps that acting, and I think like whenever you can have a character with a prop, a character fiddling with something, it can
Mhm.
make the scene more lively. That's something I took away from the actor Michael Madsen. He would do that. If you watch Michael Madsen in any movie, he would always like have an object he's fiddling around with, and it just like brings life to a scene where you're just in a
Oh,
room talking. So I would recommend to any comic artists out there, you have a boring talking scene, you can make it more interesting by adding props of some kind, because you can see throughout this entire thing the movement is her, the acting is coming from her and her cigarette,
yeah.
Mm.
just how she holds it in various scenes.
It's also well observed in the historicity of it. Like we live in an era where essentially no one smokes compared to the
Yes.
past. Like you would not be allowed a lit cigarette within a mile of the Louvre now, but she can just like stand in front because they don't care. They don't know, right? They're thinking like, this is part of my diet. What am I going to give it up? No. Um, yeah, and but you're right. It also like, it makes her hands move and gives her something to do. It makes thinking look cooler.
Yeah, and I like this whole monologue because it's hearing her thoughts about art, I guess, and yeah, I guess
Mm-hmm.
she's thinking a lot about like the subject of art overall and about her responsibility of classifying the art, and the fate of a lot of this art is in her hands, and yeah, it's just a very well written
Mm-hmm.
scene, really getting into her head. And then there's obviously a flashback, so when we see this face where she's meeting this guy, actually is. I think I need to read this a second time because I don't know if I fully got everything, but I think this is the first time she meets him, and we see that face, and it's very
It's
reminiscent of when he comes out of the shadow here. It's supposed to really hit you that, like, oh, this is when they met. I believe.
yeah, it was a bit disorienting when it came to like, wait, where are we? Oh, right, yeah. It's it's like it's a flashback in the interrogation scene, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Like, I don't know. It keeps on flashing back and forth, I guess, from the interrogation scene.
Yeah,
Now, this is great here is everybody's in like a hurried panic in France.
yeah. Like, oh shit, shit, shit. We got to get all these out. We got to move these. Yeah, because there's because there's the French are at the beginning. They think at the beginning of the Nazis' invasion, they think, we'll be fine. We got the Maginot Line until they realize you can just kind of go through Belgium around the Maginot Line and then you're fucked. And that's exactly what Nazis did. So what did come as kind of a surprise as like, what? They're here? Oh God.
Yeah, and I think there's some contrast later because these are busy streets, and then and later on you get like more quieter city shots that seem very empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what you got. Like all that paper kind of drifting through the streets, and I think
Yeah,
that's supposed to signify nobody's here anymore. Like there's no children. There are no children in Paris at this point, right? If there are, they're severely neglected.
If you go to page 97 and then 98, so
yep,
97 is giving up big time Mignola vibes, right? And then
oh yeah,
98 is what you were talking about with with the city, and the passage of
yeah.
time here is really nice. This is a really good shot just to give
Yeah.
an overall authenticity of the time.
Do you guys remember? So it's interesting you bring up Mignola because he was working on Next Wave around the same time he was working on this.
Oh,
And there
okay.
was a Mignola impersonation he did for about 3 pages in Next Wave.
What issue is
Do
that?
you guys remember that?
It's been so long since I've read
Yeah,
Next
maybe
Wave.
it's been years.
Well, maybe we should do it for an episode. There's one issue where he does like a Chris Ware impersonation for like 3 pages, and then Eminem,
I
and yeah,
remember
it's
the Chris
various,
Ware.
and
Yeah, I
they're
know.
very
It's
funny.
coming to me now. I remember. Yeah,
The it was the Elsa Bloodstone pages were Mignola. Yeah, it was so good. So yeah, it's funny you bring up Mignola because yeah, again, like he was working on Next Wave around the same time he was working on this.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. Oh, okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wow, he nails that. Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I did want to lastly comment that like I love these atmospheric pages because this is a graphic novel. They have the real estate to do
yeah,
stuff like this,
Yeah.
just to build atmosphere. Whereas we're used to Stuart Immonen working within like the confines of a 20-page
yeah,
periodical, and there isn't a lot of room for atmosphere building and stuff like that because I mean you want to give a hearty meal to the buyer, and like e- every page is valuable and every page should be communicating plot and
yeah.
story, right?
Yeah. But hmm. Could you flip back to page 95 for a sec?
Yeah.
So this is the image that he's been asking her for this whole time. Um,
Oh, okay.
and as a behind the scenes thing, I could not figure out what this is. I
Really?
posted this in the art history subreddit and got nothing. They came back with, this is a photo run through a filter, through a black and white filter. So, audience, if you recognize this, please let me know. I won't be able to sleep until I figure out what this is, because
Interesting.
Maybe he's trolling.
maybe, like, that's the
Like,
thing,
trying to
is it's
figure
like,
this one out, you bastard.
is it, and it would make sense if he did, like, if he does choose just a random photo that doesn't actually exist in the Louvre, it would tie into this story even better.
Because works of art went missing, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, the Nazis stole them all. Yeah, they stole them. The Einsatzgruppen was Himmler's weird little esoteric group, I think, and yeah, they were taking, and in some cases destroying, artworks if it was like an affront to Aryanism or whatever the fuck fascists think. And so yeah, so they were taking them, they were destroying them, and that's why you can actually look up there's a bad movie about it, but the Monuments Men, a real thing, like a bunch of art history professors from the States and other allied nations that were sent after the land invasion to go and find these stolen artworks again.
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Which came out around the same time as the publication of this.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I when I finished reading this, I was like, I need to read this again because I don't know if I fully understood what it was trying to say. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, is it doesn't hold your hand, and you really have to pay attention to every conversation. And I don't know, just like yeah, again, I don't fully understand where it was going, what it was trying to say, but I know I really liked it.
And this ending, yeah, this
Yeah.
ending is,
So, what did the ending mean to you then?
I don't know. It is. I got nothing. That's the thing, is because I was looking up like a lot of the huge images towards the end, like 124, 126, like all those final ones. I was trying to find, what are these paintings? What are these images? I can't find a goddamn one.
Really?
And I thought that might give me more insight. Well, yeah, it's just because they're so. If you type in a description of them,
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I'm not certain that they actually are works of art. Like 124 looks like it could just be the debris, at like the result of Paris being taken by either Nazi or Allied forces.
Yeah, that one's a photograph, I think, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. Like, it's
yeah.
so when they're kind of, when you're kind of scrolling through, and then the letter, like, this is ending like a French existentialist neo-realist film or something. Like, it's,
Mhm.
I don't know, it just leaving me with this feeling of, well, Colin, you said it. I think you captured it. Longing? Like, it's just
Yeah.
this sense of, I want more. I want something. I don't know what it
And
is though.
I don't know, audience, if you're getting it from just, Eric flipping through this book, but when you read the story and you take in
Yeah.
the dialogue along with the imagery, there is a certain sense of longing that I got anyway. I can only speak for myself, but it really lends itself to that.
Yeah, and I suspect that if
Yeah.
we
It's
read it multiple times, we would
it's interesting. Yeah.
see it differently. So I just need to read it again, I suspect. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Next up, we have Russian Olive to Red King, and I think I established that of the three, this one was my favorite. So the Immonens described it as a romance that isn't romantic and a ghost story that isn't frightening. And
Huh.
yeah, it took again like 4 to 5 years to produce. And as for why this is my favorite, I think it was designed to invoke a very specific feeling, and I think it was successful in its mission. Yeah, it's hard to talk about this one without spoiling anything, and yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Although there isn't really much to spoil because it doesn't give out answers, and there's very little plot. So there's not really anything to spoil, but there's stuff that it's trying to infer, if that's the right word. It's trying to make you think, and like I definitely got not necessarily a message, but like I think I understood what they were trying to communicate, what the feeling they were trying to communicate. So that was just a bit of a word salad, I guess, but like the book did haunt me.
That's, yeah. Haunting.
Did you feel that?
Yeah, I did think about it for a couple of days after I finished
Okay,
it.
so both of you.
Yeah, it's there's a I don't know. It's like the complete breakdown of what you think you know in the form of a comic or something. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like, fuck, this hit me so hard. I don't. Where are you going? Where are you going, Imminence? You know?
There's the pain of not knowing something and suspecting the worst, and I guess that's the feeling that it's evoking, of just like, and probably knowing deep down that the worst has happened to someone that you love, and
Yeah.
just not being able to know. There's no way of knowing.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, a couple of days ago, I saw Andrei Tarkovsky's Nostalgia, which was a movie he did in 1983. And
Okay.
in
Is that the one shot from?
it was shot in Italy. I think he was like he ran away from the Soviet Union and then worked in Europe for a bit before he died.
Yeah, that's the one shot. Like you are the main character, right? The camera is the main character.
No, no. There's a poet. I think he's a poet named Andre. In it, so it's sort of a self insert, sort of. But
Yeah.
in some ways, this comic kind of reminds me of the work of Tarkovsky, because Tarkovsky's work is largely plotless, or at least in the case of Nostalgia, it's plotless, and it's just scenes that are trying to evoke a feeling. And they're some of the most beautiful movies you'll ever see, and this is one of the most beautiful comics I've ever read.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And actually, to speak to that, just all three books are beautifully put together. Like these are keepers, right? The binding and everything.
such great design.
Yes, exactly. Just the overall production design of these books is these books are like top quality.
Yeah, they're art objects as well as comics. They're like, I don't know. I got to get my hands on them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this one is out of print, so it's hard to find. But man, anybody
Yeah,
watching this, like,
that
like,
sucks. That's the
track it
worst.
down.
To find that out,
Yeah.
gonna start looking this up right now. Because,
Oh yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know how much it goes on the aftermarket, but it's hard to find in general. It's interesting because it seems like there's a lot of references to Russian literature. In fact,
Oh
there
yeah,
is.
yeah, because she's
Are you
studying.
guys up on your Russian literature?
No, not at all.
No.
I saw Nostalgia and I can barely remember it.
Oh, so you have seen Nostalgia, and
I have, yeah. Yeah, and I get what you mean by it. Yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's the feeling that like you're haunting the story you're reading, you know? Does that make sense?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it does feel like it's from maybe both of their points of view, but also like, I said I wouldn't get into spoilers, but I mean, there is nothing to spoil. It's just my interpretation. My interpretation is like, here she's dead. So like, what her point of view is, she's a ghost, And then his point of view is he's like, he thinks he should be in mourning, but he just doesn't know. He just has this feeling that she's dead, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling of it, right? Is that she dies, he thinks she dies, uh, and he can't mourn because he doesn't know. Like, can you mourn what you're not certain about?
Yeah, I mean, this page
There's a
says it
real
all
lack
right
of
here,
closure.
where he's just saying
Yeah,
something's wrong, come home, and he's just sort of like in the fetal position in bed, right?
yeah.
And then there's just like all this stuff he has to deal with throughout. Like he has to go through his mundane life with this not knowing. And yeah, again, this story was haunting to me.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, he knows she's a strong woman, Olive is, and that's why he's waiting for her. And what in her experience, as you're reading her side of the story, you can see that she's extremely capable and she's
Yeah.
doing all the right things. But it's still possible to do all the right things and still lose. So, that my takeaway was that as well, is that she passes away at the end of the story.
It's a great point.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think she passed away towards the beginning because, like, but
Like on impact.
yeah, and again, it's up to interpretation because it's just like,
You could definitely read it like that, yeah.
yeah,
Like, this is the story of her ghost trying to get home.
yeah, because a lot of this stuff, like she's not exactly acting normal. There's no emotion during this harrowing situation. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the fact that she's losing stuff and she doesn't care. Like,
And
or I
there
mean,
is
it
something.
could just be the elements are getting to her. I don't know, but that's just the sense I got.
Well,
It had a surreal quality to it, right?
you
Well,
know what makes.
ultimately the elements do get to her, so I
Yeah.
would I would more err on that side.
It's the time lapse view of the stars spinning overhead that actually makes me think, that gave me the most, like, not supernatural but definitely mystical feel to it all.
Yeah. Where was
Which
that?
also, great fucking effect that he communicates there.
Are you talking about this timeline?
Um, yeah, well, but there's more, and they grow as, like, the spinning stars elongate as they go.
Yeah.
They stop there, actually, Eric. So towards the beginning of the story, you see all the stars, and then in the very last chapter, there's nothing.
Right.
It's all vapor,
Yeah.
right? And I take that as the passage of time. I didn't really take a lot of supernatural vibes from this. I
Not
was
supernatural, but
It's just a story from start to finish, and the stars kind of show where they're at time wise.
It did have a surreal quality to it, though, didn't it?
yeah, there's this kind
Yeah,
of
sure, I'll give you that.
weirdly,
But
Like this
weirdly,
stuff
it
right
makes me
here.
think of Garth Ennis's Punisher Born for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that they're exactly the same, but there is this kind of feel of like something happened and I can't explain it. So it's not concrete in the world,
well, now
but it's
if you
also
want to get
not.
entirely off topic, Punisher Born, the narrator ends up dying in that one too, and he's got this story in his head. He's selling himself on his own bullshit continuously until the end of the story, and he dies believing it. So he dies in heaven essentially,
Mm,
right?
right.
And
Okay. So
you could apply that to this too in some
yeah,
fashion.
it's just like the feeling. I don't know. I don't know. The star spinning thing I'm thinking of is it's the very beginning of chapter 4. I
Oh.
don't know what page number that is, but um,
Oh, right,
there you
right,
go.
right. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, so they're spinning out, but the earlier chapters have more clustered stars
Yeah.
until there's nothing at the end, right? So it's over a period of what, 24 hours or a week or however long.
Yeah, I think it might be a week.
Well, this is what time lapsed photos of the night sky look like, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the Earth is turning, the stars move throughout the night, and if you just do a long exposure, that's what sorry, it's not time lapse, it's long exposure. If you just do a long exposure of the night sky, this is what it looks like.
Mm.
Which also, goddamn, way to go, Stuart Immonen, for capturing that effect.
Yeah.
Like, that's the sort of thing that is really only possible with photography, and yet here we are. He hand drew that. That's so
Yeah.
impressive.
Beautiful. But yeah, going back, let's talk a bit about Stuart Immonen's work, the artwork, because
Yeah.
I did want to uh, comment on the. It is somewhat like this style is somewhere between his style in moving pictures and his more mainstream work, because it's a little more sparse than like something you would get out of like his Spider-Man comics or whatever. And I just love the perfect amount of detail on the bedding here, and just how much the color is doing the work as well, because I should say he's coloring this as well, or he colored this.
Yeah.
I call this very controlled. Like every line is in its right place and every line is calculated, right?
Yeah.
There is a sense of spontaneity there, but it's still very clean. It's still like he knows what he's doing and it's just falling on the page. Everything that he's doing, it just works itself out, you know?
Yeah, and he is doing a lot of the figuring out in the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks, it looks so good. Like, goddamn.
You know, again, like same thing I said with the last one, that there's room for atmosphere building. There's because this is a graphic novel where again, you don't get a lot of this in Stuart Immonen's like more mainstream work, because there's just no time. But he's so good at it. He's so good at these like atmosphere building scenes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is like a real testament to them working together as well, right? Is knowing, oh, he can really use this space. He knows how to use this space. And yeah, like capturing the feeling that she's going for.
So Immonen has worked with a lot of great writers, but like undoubtedly Kathryn Immonen is his greatest collaborator, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really nice that they found each other. Like that's so fucking sweet.
They made comics together in the late 80s. Like their first comic together, they did like they had self-published comics, Playground and Head Cheese. And actually, I have a quote here about that.
Oh wow.
He said, "We told people what we told people about, I guess, Playground and Head Cheese was that it was a punk rock murder mystery, except the murder was accidental and there was no mystery about it, as it happens in panel on the first issue. Thinking about it now, it was an exploration of mortality and coming to terms with profound loss, which is the subject we keep coming back to 30 years on, certainly in Russian Olive to Red King, but also in Moving Pictures, and even Never as Bad as You Think, and other small projects. Mostly it's about the people who have to deal with the mess left after the dust settles. Oh, and talking animals."
Oh, and talking animals. Yeah.
And they have a long history collaborating, even throughout. Like they did short stories together throughout the 90s and 2000s. So they have basically been working together throughout his entire career, but a lot of it was just like a short Captain America story, and then like a couple of short stories for an anthology book here and there, and yeah, just a lot of little things on the side.
I'd love to know why Marvel didn't hire her, like the both of them, to do like a long run thing on one of their major characters.
Well, if I were to guess, I think he might have been higher on the totem pole than her at different points, and I think Marvel has a tiered structure to their.
Yeah, I guess, but they put her on Runaways with Sarah Pacelli.
That was at Sarah Pacelli early on in her career before she
Oh.
was bigger.
Mm.
And again, I don't know any of this, but I just think that like they have tiers for books, so like he commanded a higher paycheck, so they had to put him on bigger books, and she was always on smaller books, and so I guess they couldn't rationalize pairing them together, but I don't know. It is, but that is weird. It is weird that
Mm.
they never worked together at Marvel.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like that it would be, I don't know,
A no-brainer.
well suited. Especially if they were like, yeah, just to like reboot a new character. Like imagine them on, I don't know, Moon Knight, right? That would be fucking rad.
Yeah. So I guess this takes place in Ontario, which which is where they're from.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's references to checking out petroglyphs in Kenora, which is located in Ontario somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes a lot more sense. I thought it was Russia, just because of all of the symbolism and
Yeah,
stuff, references.
yeah. In fact, like there is a Russian book that's referenced here, which sorry, what was it? Ostrov Sakhalin, which is translates to Sakhalin Island, I think. So yeah, I thought it was I was asking that myself as well. Like, does this take place in
Hmm.
Russia? And like, if we go to the beginning here, it says selections from Ostrov Sakhalin by Anton Pavlovich Chekhov, 1894. Translations are copyright 2015, Immonen Illustrations Inc. So yeah, see, the translation is copyright the Immonens. So unless I'm reading
Hmm.
that incorrectly, when she's like I think she's saying excerpts from that book in English, obviously, and I think it's Kathryn's translations,
Hmm. That's cool.
wherever that is. Yeah, throughout the
Yeah, imminent illustrations. That must be like their yeah,
yeah,
their like billing business or something.
yeah, for tax
Oh man,
purposes.
the so what's fun about this one is that it is a is that it's the closest to like a typical comic, and I think you really get to see the great use of his page design here too. Because the other two, as great as they are, and I fucking love Grass of Parnassus, but it's really locked into a format, and which we'll see later. But there's a lot more space for him to do a lot cooler, well, not cooler, but just like varied designs throughout.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the plane crash
Yeah,
sequence.
that was
Yeah,
great.
actually, I wanted to comment on that because that really takes advantage of the comics medium. There's this uh, there's this thing in movies,
Yeah.
like you can't film a plane moving fast against just a blue sky because you get no sense of the movement. Like there needs to be background elements to give the context of movement, which is why you see in like in films they're always trying to like capture the ground, or they're trying to have planes lower so that yeah they can have some sort of background elements. But right here we can take advantage of the panel borders, and we get the sense that the plane is going down just because it's like in the middle of the sky here, and then it slowly gets closer and closer to the gutter space and
Mm.
then disappears eventually.
Mm, yeah.
So this is an example where you can use the blue sky.
And then to land it on that final page of chapter 1 of just the the stark
Yeah.
frozen tundra, like fuck,
Yeah.
like yeah, like this fiery crash, and then cut to the exact opposite blue. It's so cold, it's so lonely. God.
And then like and then right away
It
this
looks
is
like
why
for 45 Canadian bucks, Colin, you and I could have copies of this.
oh yeah, you found it on eBay.
I did, yes. There are several.
So yeah, I did want to comment. Like, this is the clue because I've read this multiple times, and so this is the clue
Mhm.
that made me think she was dead at this point because her shadow shows up right after the plane crash in his room, and then he's immediately distraught,
Okay.
and he just knows she went on a plane trip, right?
Oh,
Oh,
that's some sixth
shit.
sense shit right there.
But for some reason, he knows deep in his heart that something's off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, him waking up like sitting.
I think this was inspired by how Kathryn Immonen went away for a bit, and there was phone communication wasn't the best, and so there always is the, there sometimes when you can't contact someone you love, sometimes you think of the worst. And I think that that's the feeling they're trying to get out of this graphic novel.
Yeah, it's off-putting feeling. Mm. Mm.
And I guess like I don't want to go too much more into this. I just I want people to read this, and I implore people to seek this out. This I mean, yeah, again, this comic haunted me. I was so struck by it. And yeah, I've already read it multiple times, and yeah, I don't want to show too much more, I guess.
Well, with all these books, this one too, you didn't want it to end. Like you were just eating it up, page after page after page. And when I got in, so this is the copy that I read for the first time, and this is the one work of the three that I'd already read of Immonen's, besides the other two. And with this one, I'm like, okay, there's like 20 pages left. Like, okay, they got to tie this up somehow. And oh, there's 6 pages left. Okay, how are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? And like, it really messed with me. It stayed with me for a couple of days after, because I'm like, I was still trying to make sense of it. I was still trying to reconcile it too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because it comes upon its own ending.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because for me it ended very abruptly, because you've got this thick book, and I mean, let's just like show that like the back matter is like this much. So I was expecting more, and then it just sort of like ends at a certain point, and then we get
Right.
like some art pieces basically, and that haunted me even more. Of just like,
Yeah.
what? It's just over. That's like it's we don't get resolution. We and that is the feeling it's trying
Yeah.
to go for, right? So yeah, very haunting. But yeah, this is very cool. Where
Yeah. It just kind of, yeah, it's like the end of The Sopranos. It just fucking ends, and you're like, what? No, what?
yeah, and I said I didn't want to spoil too much, and I think we spoiled everything. But I implore people seek this out. It's such a beautiful work of art. I mean, yeah, it floored me.
All three of these books are worthy of your collection, especially if you have a bookshelf. Like if you pride yourself on a good-looking bookshelf, these
Mm-hmm.
books will definitely stand out on your bookshelf.
Yeah. People will be, they'll want to know all about them. Like, what is this? What's going on here? I also do want to call out his amazing colors. His
Gorgeous,
the
yeah,
it's a pretty simple use of cool and warm, but it's deployed really well,
yeah.
right? Um, like when she's at home at the very beginning. Let me see. It's these bright, warm colors with olive and red, and as soon as she's gone, boy, the that warmth starts draining out
Yeah.
of that room. And it's kind of it's subtle at first, but like the oranges are just a little more dour. The purples are creeping in a lot more,
Yeah,
and
he's just in darkness, right?
yeah, yeah, he becomes quite cloaked in this kind of ever-present twilight of
Well,
his life or her life.
her dark hair and just what she was
Yeah.
wearing in the beginning too. She's kind of serves as like a cork in that room. Like that's a perfect environment. That's like kind of heaven. And as soon as she leaves, it's kind of like a
Oh,
cork that comes off a
yeah.
bottle, and all the contents just keep pouring out and
Yeah.
pouring out, and all the life is drained from that room as soon as she leaves.
Yeah. Nice call. Yeah, because it gets like to the point where purples become gray and gray becomes black, and it's just like even in even when he's returning the sweater, he
Yeah.
is this just like this henge of dark kind of muted colors in this purposely bright setting.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah. Yeah, such intelligent color work.
Yeah, like that woman is orange and he is not.
Ah, Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the one that you liked the most, Taylor. So why did this one hit for you?
Oh boy. So it's a lot of things. One, this format. I love a weird format. Yeah, you get the slipcase. You get your weird self inserted signature panel. I took your advice and put it on the inside cover rather than the
We
pages.
should say that I got these two books. I got one for me and one for Taylor from The Beguiling, which is a
Shout out.
Toronto-based comic store, a great comic store. I've never visited personally, but like they had the signature plate that yeah was signed, and you have to take the sticker off and place it yourself. I found that I put it on this page, and for like a second it seemed to warp the entire book, but then it obviously got better. So I told Taylor put it on put it on the hardcover. So, but yeah, I mean even the book plate is designed amazingly, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I don't know. They really went all out. It's such a strange format, and it really appeals to my sensibilities in terms of, I guess, kinetic storytelling. Like it does not linger. It's not really telling you a story. It's giving you these little snippets of crazy shit that's happening on a gigantic, multifaceted, multi-species. I don't know. I don't even know. Like a rock that's been turned into a spaceship for like basically unknown purposes, and yeah, it just jumps from one to the other. It gets real
It's
weird.
just wacky, right?
Yeah,
Off
it's
the bat, though, off the
wacky.
bat, this book, even though Moving Pictures is my favorite, Grass is probably the most beautiful and well put. This is the best book
Oh
of the
yeah,
bunch, just in terms of product. Like, Moving Pictures is my favorite, but this is
Yeah,
the one where you get the most bang for your buck. Like every panel in this thing is just like there's no wasted space here. Even the white bars at the bottom, everything is necessary, right? It's a beautifully put together book.
yeah, yeah. All the little. If you come across like 0004 on a page, that's not the page number. That is an annotation for later.
right. Yeah, because there's a lot of back matter.
There's so much back matter here. Like they really want you to know all about it.
I did want to contrast the like different design. Like we have a more, I guess, like a subtle minimalist design here, and then we
Mm,
get yeah, I did guess just very busy and maximalist, I guess.
chaotic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chaotic
maximalist.
design here,
Yeah.
and it just goes towards the versatility, I guess, of Eminem, which is something that yeah, I was saying that artists revere him for.
Yeah. How could you not?
And
Right?
a little bit of history behind this, like it was developed for the Instagram process. I just have this quick quote on how it began. He says, I was reading a list of names of wildflowers and suggested Grass of Parnassus as a title for this comic we were stuck on. And Kathryn said it sounded like the name of a spaceship. She literally wrote, Never as bad as you think in space on a napkin. And we had the first strip done in an afternoon, which that napkin is somewhere here in the back matter.
Yeah, it's in this back matter.
Where
Yeah,
was it?
artists, if you want to learn like what goes into making something like this, pick this up because the back matter, as with Olive to Red, it's like it is thick. It is a thick part of this book.
It is, yeah, it's right here. Yeah, there's the napkin. Grass of Parnassus, never as bad as you think in space. And I guess this shape of the spaceship is a visual motif, I think, because uh, now I didn't notice this the first time I saw it, but on this first page, this cloud is in that shape. Did you
Oh
guys
yeah,
notice that?
I did not. I wish I was that clever.
Well, now I didn't notice it because I read this. I noticed it because I briefly looked at the webtoon version, which let me show on stream, because for
Oh,
anybody watching this, you can read this comic on webtoon. So take a look at the composition here, and we'll compare on webtoon. This is taking advantage of the vertical scroll. So we have the cloud basically isolated than the town. And so that the shape of the cloud is a little more overt in the webtoon version.
Mm.
And what's interesting is that this was designed for Instagram. So the book version is utilizing squares and is utilizing a horizontal scroll, whereas webtoon is a vertical scroll. So he had to design two different versions,
good
basically.
God.
For the most part, he's keeping the squares in webtoon. But like when you get to some of the wider panels, let me see. Sorry, this is still loading. Yeah, right here. This right here was excerpts of a wider panel, which is this. So he took like two small snippets of this for the webtoon version.
Okay.
And then we get the visual motif is the shape of this ship, which if we go to the back matter again, the inspiration for the shape of that ship was modeled after the village of Caslow, British Columbia. But it was also looks like it was modeled a little bit off of Hopewell Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, Hopewell Rock at Hopewell Cape.
Yeah, it seems like they were very inspired by their travels. And
Yeah.
that's the fun part. You can see the sort of genesis of this in all this back matter, which is a lot of fun. Because, this is the ship, which I guess is a rock in the ocean that they imagined taking off.
I love the imaginative world of the future too, of just like humanity has gotten to such a technological powerhouse place that they can engineer that engineered bears to do maintenance on the outside in spacesuits, but also you still have to like open up an engine and crawl around inside and find bullshit stuck in there.
Yeah, actually, I really like the aesthetic of old tech mashed together with future tech, which I guess can sort of be classified as like retro future, because there's like wires everywhere, and in the future we're going into like a wireless future, right? And yet in this there's like an excessive amount of wires and like old tech.
Yeah, there's pipes and tubes. You got to like physically turn wheels to get into certain doors, depending on where it is. But also, a floating brain with teeth can be called Dr. Ibrahim, which is just like, what a great, weird little. I don't know. It's like it's this image of an alien that, like, I'm not going to explain it. It's just it's like a cauliflower brain with tentacles. Just roll with it.
Yeah, and he's so good at like giving shape to those tentacles when they're wrapping around this dude. You can really get a sense of the three-dimensionality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the inspiration for my for the piece I did for this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, going back a bit to the beginning, I love this. I love wires everywhere. It's just like it's an aesthetic I love, and I love drawing cities myself. And so, like, I love drawing the, old city that's falling apart and in disrepair. But for me, I love the little details. Like, I love all the imperfections everywhere on this stuff. Like, you get like little nicks and scratches and faded paint and like cracks in windows, and it's just an impressive skill set to know when to add detail and when to stop. So like that's another thing, is like he does have restraint, even though he's adding very specific details like the cracks in the windows and stuff. Like right here, I would have put cracks all over this road here, but like he knew not to do that, because I guess we want to focus entirely on this like foreground figure, and like the more details around there would have taken away from that. And he just knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then he does it so well on just the next page, the building that the cat is jumping off of. It's got that great weathered feel.
Oh yeah,
That's a beautiful silhouette.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Great. Just why is he so good at color? Like this is something that baffled me when I was looking at this and Russian Olive's Red King was that how is he so good at color? Like I always look at people who are great at color like this and just like how do you know how to pick these great
I
palettes?
think part of it is that he's at least for this. No, I think and for Russian Olive, it's he's taking a lot. He's taking like a major central color
Hmm.
and using a lot. And if he needs to really punch something, he uses its inverse. Like the two people in the gigantic sphere maintenance. It's all green, but when he needs you to like when he needs something to stand out, it becomes he uses the pink to
Hmm.
punch up that to catch it, right? Like
Yeah.
do a highlight,
Okay.
it's that
Yeah.
red light or the hypno eyes, it's that pink. Um, so it I think that might be part of what he's doing. Part of his secret is that he's doing like a great like no, you know what? This entire environment is going to be this color except when I need it to really stand out.
Hmm.
The coloring process on Grass of Parnassus, he said it involved a ridiculous amount of steps despite being deceptively simple.
Really?
And actually, so he deleted his I don't know, it seems like he's like for the longest time he didn't have a social media presence, and I think to promote Grass of Parnassus he very briefly was on, well, I mean he was posting this stuff on Instagram, and I think he was on Twitter for a bit, and then now he's gone, and I think
Ah,
all like I can't find that Instagram account and I can't find his old Twitter, but back then I did for some reason save a lot of images I came across. And so I for this episode I looked in my Stuart Immonen folder and I found a whole bunch of stuff. Like not too much, but a bunch of stuff. Here, let me pop it up on the screen.
yes, please,
Um,
because yeah, he doesn't really exist in which makes sense. He's what in his 50s.
Yeah, he's 57, I think, 58.
Yeah, like if I were and he has the art nerd vibes of he's an art school kid. They both are, and they both really have that feel of like, man, the work speaks for itself. Whatever.
we're not going to hold your hand. And so yeah, right
Yeah.
here we can see the flat version, and this is how many layers he has. So this is 3 images. So in the second image, we just have the bottom layer turned on. So I guess this is what he starts off with, and then when we turn all those layers on, it turns into this.
Hmm.
So I'll go back and forth between.
Wow.
Um,
Okay, so he's
so yeah, I mean
really
he describes it as a laborious process.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean
whoa.
we've got a
Okay.
multiplayer layer, and we have several multiplayer layers. We've got touch ups and like yeah, but yeah, beautiful colors. But okay, and what else do I have in this PDF? I vaguely remember a commentary he had where he said that like the printer I believe reached out to him to basically ask, was this a mistake? Like we're about to print this. Are you? Did, I think he had to assure them, no, this is what I was going for this scene, and so
Yeah,
that's pretty
this
fun.
super
And then
messy.
here we have two different colors for which I don't recall what this. I just saved the image. I don't know what he posted on Twitter at the time, but I mean it looks like one is for Instagram and the other is labeled as CMYK. So I guess that would be for print. So I guess the Instagram version was different.
Which makes sense. What little I know of color is that CMYK and RGB can and does have a very
Yeah.
severe difference if you're not really careful about it. I don't know how that works. I just remember.
Well, in RGB you can have neons, and you can't in CMYK. And so I guess this neon green was the problem, if I were to guess.
Yeah, because
But
it's because I'm looking at the print version right now, and it's the red one there. Huh. Okay.
What page is that?
They don't come with page numbers, unfortunately. It's towards the back, though.
Hey, here we go. Yeah, there it is.
I love the scale that he uses on this, too.
Sam.
Like that on the left-hand page, left-hand panel, you get the feel for the actual size of the ship with just those little ticked windows around the edge up at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So I did want to comment that he was using SketchUp. Have you guys ever played with SketchUp?
I have.
A little bit.
But like, if we look at this and we go to the back matter,
Colin, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was fine. I used a lot of downloaded models, pre-made models, but I also tried to do a flower pot myself, and so but you can do anything on that thing.
Yeah.
Right here, you see that he's utilizing the program.
Yeah.
And I think he does a very good job with meshing it with his style.
Yeah, because I've always been confused, though, when using it. Is the idea that you drop it in, or that you just use it as a model and then go over it?
Well, actually, let's look at here. Let me. Okay, right here. So, so this is obviously the final version, but in the back matter, we can see what the penciled page looked like. And the penciled page is there's a mishmash of like you can see the tree is overlapping with her, and he did not go with this tree. He used these trees. And from my understanding, he penciled it and then inked it in Clip Studio. So there's a sort of a collage effect that he's going, where he's like taking this penciled image and then like adjusting it in Photoshop and then inking it, like moving these trees up, and like, for instance, like this panel right here, I guess that is the penciled version, and you can see that the leaves that are in the final version are not there. So a lot of the backgrounds, I think he's rendered out the 3D background as line work, and then I guess he's made adjustments to it to add those imperfections and little, like, nicks and scratches, like in this mausoleum. I think he, like, you can still see a bit of the 3D rendering, but then it does like mesh well with his
yeah,
his
it's
style
just a
here as
bit
well.
too. Yeah, that's kind of. I think that's part of my reticence to learn it more. Is I'd be like, oh, I would be too reliant on this. And Eric, it's taken you several years, but you've finally disabused me of and convinced me to not rely on this sort of thing. Like, eyeball it, freehand it. Don't trace, don't copy, just do it your goddamn self. And I'm finally back at that place.
Yeah, and there are artists who I think do it poorly, where it's like so obviously a digital rendering. I think he does a good balancing act where he adds to it and does a lot of like he does a lot to the line work to make it look like it came from his hand, and to not make it look so perfect, because that's the thing. You have that's when it doesn't work, when you have like these perfectly rendered backgrounds where the lines are just like pristine and like mechanical looking, and then you have the imperfect hand of the artist on the figures, and it just looks like two different
Yeah.
two different people created this, and it looks like the figures look like stickers on top of like something else, and it takes me out of the story. But
Yes,
in this,
something
I think he
you've
pulled it
called me
off.
out on, and that I have like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was guilty of a lot of that stuff too way back when. I used a lot of 3D models, and I tried to make it. I would trace over them. I wouldn't actually like take the line work. Like you want it to look like the artists, like it was came from a singular vision, right? You don't want it to look mechanical, right? Or like some of it look mechanical and some of it not.
Yeah, it's that
Man, how about these
mismatch.
designs?
So
Man,
intricate.
every character.
Like he doesn't need to do that on Russian business attire, but he does it. Yeah, just like the acting
the
too. Like a lot of like the sass when they're on the towards the end when they're on the outside and they're like pointing at each other. Like I don't know. There's something about the way, and I think it's weird that we only really get it in this. You see it a lot more in his Spider-Man work, but bodies kind of moving
which I happen
through
to
the
have
air.
here. Oh, that's not Immonen. He did at the back. Yeah.
Like somebody being like kind of
Well,
mid-flight or capturing a mid-air movement, a lot like Mignola, but not style-wise, but just like the ability to capture. I don't know, like how does that pose work? And I think it's actually related to the thing that Colin was pointing out in moving pictures with like the pointing, right? Like he's got the anatomy down so that even when he winnows the style down to minimalism, it still looks correct. But now with something like Grass of Parnassus, he can really throw a lot more not detail, but there's a lot more volume to everything. There's a lot more uh, technicality to the way things move, but the underlying structure that he has and knowledge is still there. So even when a brain with tentacles is like grabbing you, it's like, yeah, that is how a leg bends when you're being tackled by a tentacle monster.
yeah. I should say that this is kind of our Christmas episode, I guess. So we have this Christmassy
Merry
scene, sort
Christmas.
of. um, okay, I wanted to comment on his use of photo reference
Yeah.
because we can look at this here, and then if we go to back matter, there we go, 15. Okay, so here we can see a photo that he's taking of himself and that he's using there. So I recall in the mid aughts, Stuart Immonen wrote an article for CBR for Comic Book Resources, and it always stuck with me because he wrote about what I'll call the like snobbery amongst some artists at the time over the use of photo reference. And yeah, here's just a quick quote. It seems like there have always been macho artists who have dismissed the practice, claiming some superiority through their intimate and intricate knowledge of human and animal anatomy, through their natural ability to work it out with a pencil. However, not all of us are so gifted, and when the editor starts to call for more pages, one is often forced to resort to the methods closest at hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, I recommend people read that entire article because he talks about the history of photograph use with illustrators and his process, and yeah, it did always stick out to me because yeah, there is a bit of snobbery with that.
Well, and he's doing it the correct way here, right? Because if you look at those two panels, those two images,
Yeah,
that's not a one-to-one comparison, right? What he's looking for, like the way her arm is, it's popped out more than his. The hand is different. Like it's more. It seems more like he's going for how does this hood act when you're looking up and pulling part of it. You know, it's little details that he's looking
yeah,
for.
And the important thing is that he's not a slave to the reference, and
Yeah.
that's what you're getting at, is that like he knows that it doesn't look good with the arm positioned that way because it's not creating a good enough silhouette, I think.
Hmm.
And I mean it just wouldn't look good if he had done the if he was a slave to the reference and he had put the
Mm.
arm that specific way. And so I do think there is a middle ground to this because yes, there are people who are slave to they are a slave to the photo reference. They can't deviate it from anything. They can't make adjustments if it's not working. And in those situations, it just doesn't fully work. But like Eminem is I mean, it's the perfect example of using photo reference, where he's using it as an aid, not a crutch, and he's adapting his style
Mm.
to the reference.
Yeah, like it looks like he had the photo up, but he
It was
wasn't.
a starting point.
Yeah, it's not tracing, which Jesus knows I've been guilty of. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
oh yeah, of course, because that's the danger of digital, right? Like as soon as I realized, oh, I could just put my own photo reference in here, I quickly fell on that crutch and forgot I had legs. So it's but it's something that and it's frustrating to get out of. So good for him for not being a slave to it and not seemingly not ever like becoming dependent on it in any way. Because God, is it a terrible habit to break. Like even today, I have to stop myself and go, nope. I cannot port this over into the program. I can only look at it on the second screen. That is as far as I will allow myself to go.
and it'll make you a better artist in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need that muscle memory. You need that motor plan.
And it is interesting. Just so speaking about styles, like he did have his more realistic phase. As I said earlier, he for Superman's Secret Identity, he went super realistic. There was this fun quote I found where he said, "I recall having a conversation." So this took place in the before Superman Secret Identity, which was in the early 2000s. He said,
Great book.
I recall having a conversation with Alex Ross in which he reacted with strong disbelief to my assertion that I use photographic reference in my work. This sat with me for a long time, and eventually I took it to mean that I wasn't working hard enough somehow. And that's why he went extremely realistic with Superman's Secret Identity. But then several years after that, shifted completely in the opposite direction and went more stylized. And now that's the house style at Marvel, right?
Do you remember
Yeah.
where when Shock Rockets came out through Guerrilla Press?
Yeah, that was 2000, I believe.
So just before or after Secret Identity?
I think that was before Secret Identity.
Right. So I guess then he and Busick went off onto Superman from Shock Rockets, and
Yeah, I think those Gorilla books didn't sell very well, and so they were
yeah,
actively looking for gigs,
yeah.
and Superman's Secret Identity was that gig.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Did that finish late or no?
Well, he labored over that stuff, and I think he had. I mean, I think he had no hard deadline, so I think he spent years drawing it,
Oh damn.
and he did other stuff on the side, like he did a short Captain America story with Kathryn Immonen, but yeah, so it is interesting looking at the breadth of his career and seeing just again how versatile he was,
Hmm.
and
Yeah. Because one of the I was thinking about the plunge while I was going through this, and the plunge is very grounded in its depiction of the world and people. It's kind of it's not nearly as cartoony as this sort of thing, um,
yeah,
but he does bring cartooning into it to make every member of the ship crew and the scientific expedition notable in their silhouette and facial features so that everybody has a distinct look, which is another thing that he's just so great at, is
Yeah.
giving people weird little looks like, yep, this face shape is yours, this haircut is yours.
And every figure is distinct. He's so good at character design.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's got um yeah, he's not afraid to push like skull shape or beard length beyond what you would typically see. Yeah, I can't get enough of this fucking book. As soon as I finished it, it's like, what a strange book. I'm so glad I own this.
Yeah, it's a great art object, right?
It is. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the stuff, a lot of stuff I'm referencing, that my research was from an interview he did with the Comics Journal in around 2020, I think, maybe 2021. Or it was before this came out, and he was talking about how like he doesn't know if he'll be able to find a way to publish it because it was specifically designed for Instagram, and they found a way to publish it. But I highly
Oh,
recommend people read that Comics Journal interview because he's brutally honest, and it's refreshing, and yeah, it's a very interesting interview. And
did it get him? Did it burn any bridges for him, or?
no, I don't think so. I think because I think he's done overall with Marvel. Like I think he just didn't feel very appreciated by Marvel. Like he's capable of doing like 12 issues a year, and they would always put him on books that double
Yeah.
shipped, and so it would reduce his his presence as an artist. So it would be all about the writer, and then there's like three different artists on the comic, and it does make the artist feel less special and less appreciated. But all throughout the
Yeah.
interview, he makes clear that he is very close friends with editor Nick Lowe, and so I mean it's very measured and balanced. As I said at the beginning, I think his heart is in more indie work. So I don't know what he's working on now. Like Plunge seems like the last thing he worked on, or was it Magic Order 2? But it's been years.
Magic Order 2, yeah, I think is the most recent. Yeah, and that was kind of a surprise, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm very curious as to what he's working on now. I mean, in that interview, he did talk about the possibility of doing a follow up to Empress. So, but yeah, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this, or should we close it out?
Well, I'll just reiterate, it's the best looking book of the three.
Yeah,
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 definitely. Although they're all
but
different, right? So
they are, yeah, and which is what makes them all so great. Like you can't really compare them because they are so different. Like
yeah,
they're all doing different things, telling different types of stories. Um, yeah, it's I don't know what it says about this show that we each chose a different one as our favorite. Like without conferring off camera, Eric was like, "Don't tell me which one.
yeah.
I want to find out. I have ideas, but I want to find out." And I don't know. Maybe that's the secret sauce to this your favorite comic show.
Yeah. So we're all artists. So what was everybody's art week like?
Oh no!
Oh, where'd Colin go? Should we? Should we? What should we do?
Well, I
You
mean, I
think
got a
everybody got wiped
piece.
off the map?
Hmm?
Should we just like go through it and? Okay, well, just what have you been up to art wise? What's
Well, I've been penciling a 10-page short story. I'm now realizing I should probably learn to use SketchUp because that's probably the only way I'm going to get any kind of way for to get a reference for inside of a gigantic cylinder, because God, that's a pain in the ass. But in the meantime, I did this today.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you do these quick, eh?
The execution, yes. I was working out the design quite a bit for a lot longer, but yeah, because I wanted like the annoyance of her and the cat to be like placed correctly. I don't know that it's particularly well rendered, but I don't know. I'm there's a lot of stuff I am happy with it about, especially the this hand. You ever just draw a hand and think, yeah, way to go, me. That's a great fucking hand. That's exactly what I wanted it to look like.
It is, yeah. Great colors too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I overdid it on the tentacle monster, but I don't know. I was trying to go with his approach to this, or what I gleaned to be his approach to this, of uh, just lay a whole color down and try to do like a variation of tones and pop actual color when you need it. Yeah, yeah, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be our last episode of the year. So, yeah, how do you feel about your art overall this year?
I'm feeling good about it. There was a dark period of the soul for a while in the middle of the year, but I'm feeling a lot better. I feel like I have actually like increased my um, abilities, my rendering abilities. You were right. The inking by hand has really like it's opened up something to the point where I might have to ask you to print more stuff for me, because you're the only person I know with a big enough printer. Because I was thinking like these pages that I'm penciling, why don't
Yeah, to do that's the thing about doing 11 by 17 blue line is you need an 11 by 17 printer, right? Which you don't have. So,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
I'm free
no, I'm
to print that stuff for you.
awesome, because I'm thinking of just like I got a bunch of days at the in-laws. I might as well just bring it with me, ink on Christmas vacation. So,
Yeah.
and because I
Yeah,
figure,
there's no rest for
well,
artists.
it'll there's cleanup to be done in that you can do in the program, but you're right about opening up new pathways and thinking about things and having to work within limitations makes you a lot more considered and yet also bold. It's a strange dichotomy. Like you have to come to a decision, and once you've made it, you've made it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's new pathways in the brain by doing new things. You got to constantly be challenging yourself and doing new things, and all of
Yeah,
it makes the overall work better.
yeah, and
Where the
having
hell is Colin?
like not. Well,
He's the
he's
only one that knows how to
reconnecting. His
close it out.
brother-in-law disconnected the modem.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you were saying not having what?
Oh, not having things like photo reference that can be uh, traced. Not having, because there will be times when even penciling digitally and then doing the inking, you think, you know what? This doesn't look very good. I don't like this. Um, I think it's making, because I can't change on the fly. It's like those pencils are down. Like either I start freehanding it or I just go with what I have and try to make the best of it, which is a lesson unto itself. So not having to lock down these pencils are done, just move forward with it. It's just get the goddamn thing done. Maybe it's not the best,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
oh well. There'll be times to.
Well,
This is a learning experience. You'll get better. It'll be fine in the long run.
Well, and that's interesting because Stuart Immonen talks about his process where he needs to get a page a day done, and so he doesn't do he does minor layouts, like he does very simple layouts. The bulk of what he is figuring out is on the page as he goes, and he says sometimes it's
Wow.
he runs into a lot of problems that way. Like sometimes there's a lot of erasing and a lot of figuring things out, but it's his way of getting it done, and that's one of the secrets to his success, is being a such a quick artist and being able to get like 12 issues a year done.
Yeah, like that's so impressive. And yeah, I guess he's I guess when I think about him, it's not his layouts that I really think of. Like it's not that he can't do them, but it's definitely not the main attraction, but it's kind of everything else around it.
So Colin, we lost you for a second. You missed Taylor's art, but
Check it out.
What is it?
It's the maintenance workers and the tentacle brain.
Oh, from Grass. Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
I did Ela from Moving Pictures. And I
Nice.
copied a line of dialogue, which was, "You want to know who I'd put in unclassifiable art objects? My disappeared baker."
I like that style. That
Yeah,
has it's like a golden age of Hollywood sort of feel.
yeah. I'm kind of just letting it take me where it goes.
Yeah. Nicely
Yeah.
done. And Eric, what are you working on right now?
oh, it's the end of the year. We just sent another issue of Assorted Crisis Events to the printer, and now I'm on to the next one. And in between issues, I'm working on a bunch of commissions, and I have a sketch cover to draw and a page to recreate, and yeah, no rest
Right
for
on.
me.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done that, then I'm on to the next issue.
Back to the art mines.
Yeah, and this is us closing out the year 2025. So yeah, in this year I launched Assorted Crisis Events, and it went above and beyond what I was expecting, and yeah, it was a very good year. And
Oh, yeah.
doing this channel has been a lot of fun. So I look forward to doing more of both, more Assorted Crisis Events and more of this channel next year.
Right on. Yeah.
Right on, 100%. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.